This is the changing the behavior from GKE standard 1.29, I think from autopilot it's 1.28, where when you are creating a new cluster and when you don't specify a range for the service, GKE will automatically allocate the 34.118.224.0/20 service range to that particular cluster. So one advantage is like you don't need to worry about allocating a specific range for your service because GKE will automatically allocate it. And also like the service IPs are routable only within the GKE, within the particular cluster. So unlike the pod IP, if your cluster is VPC native, your pod IP is natively routable within the VPC network, but service IPs are routable only within the GKE cluster. So you can use the same range in multiple clusters, whether they are in the same VPC network or different VPC network, without any issues because it's not routable outside. So the main advantage is like you just one less IP range to worry about because GKE now allocates the default one. Also, the one thing we notice, like when customers creating clusters, so they normally think like, okay, they don't need a lot of IP ranges for service. They start with like a very small IP range for services, but when they scale up, eventually they end up in a place where they don't have enough IP address to create new services. Unlike pod IP range, because GKE now allows you to add a secondary pod IP range in case if you are not secondary, the second pod IP range. In case if the first pod IP range you allocated is running out of IP addresses, you can add an additional pod IP range, which they call it as discontinuous multi-sider pod IP range. You can add that one to expand your pod range. But it's not possible with the services range because the services range can't be changed once the cluster is created. So the new range /20 provides around like 4,096 service IPs. So which should be enough for a large cluster. So that's advantage one. So one less IP range to worry about. So it provides more IP range for scaling. There is no disadvantage in using it because the IP range is routable only within the particular cluster. So you can use the same IP range in multiple clusters. Of course, you can continue to use a local IP. You can create a new alias range for your service IP, and then you can assign that one when you're creating the cluster. So GKE is not stopping from using your own local IP. You can use it one. If you don't specify one, then GKE will use the default one. That's the advantage.